Okay, so getting back into our coverage over X-Men Red, we pick up first with X-Men Red number 8, and we are about to get into one heck of a war scene. So we pick up at this bar known for mercenaries to go to when they are trying to get away between jobs. The problem is that right now in the galaxy, there have not been that many jobs for mercenaries, and some people are very upset about that. But we pick up with a character known as Zen, and I really hope I pronounced her name correctly, who is from Araco. Zen's powers are, well, we don't know her powers, to be honest. She said in a previous book that her powers is that she's able to paint the truth, but had left to look for some work, but hasn't found any. Now that is when she is confronted by her sister Cora and also Cable, where you have the two of them coming to her and saying that they need her help to kill off Abigail Brand. This is a callback to what we saw in a previous X-Men Red book, where Cable found out that Abigail Brand is planning to do something big and crazy. We then pick up with a meeting between the different galactic empires to discuss something very important that could lead into a war in space. Now, when it comes to this galactic meeting, you have members from the Shi'ar Empire here, and you also have members from the Kree-Skrull Empire as well. Let's not forget that the Kree-Skrull War is now over and they work together. Either way, the reason why there was this meeting is because the Skrulls were recently reminded about a moment where the Kree and the Skrulls were gonna have peace 30 years ago, except it did not happen. The reason why was because the Kree had attacked a Skrull base thinking they were creating weapons to harm the Kree, except the information they had received was false. But to come to find out, that information that was given to the Kree came from the Shi'ar Empire, and that shows that the Shi'ar Empire back then were benefiting from the war that the Kree and the Skrulls were having. Now Xandra, the daughter of Charles Xavier, who is the current queen of the Shi'ar Empire, admits that she had nothing to do with this at all, but still someone has to pay. Many lives were lost back then. But then we jump back over to Cable, where we see him meeting up with other characters of the X-Men Red comics, talking about the idea of what Abigail Brand has been up to. Remember that she is the leader of SWORD and supposed to be protecting both Earth and Mars, except she has been working with Orchid, the evil group that is trying to get rid of mutants. She has been helping them even though she is a mutant herself. She also has been working with someone known as the Orbis, and I really hope I pronounced that last word correctly, who is known for creating bioweapons. This guy and her have been working on creating or cloning Cable's techno-organic virus. Now, we have no idea why. So to figure out why, they have to find Orbis. Now, we have not gotten into the issue that explains who that character is, but that video is coming very soon. When it comes to the techno-virus, it was created to consume its host. Luckily for Cable, he is able to use his powers to keep the virus at bay, but still, it takes a lot of work. Now, Brand wants the same kind of virus, and we have no idea why yet. Now, you do have Cable and his crew that he had put together to stop Abigail Brand go over to the home of the progenitors, who live in the World Farm. Now, the World Farm is this galaxy made by the progenitors. Have a hard time saying this word, but between the spaces of the galaxies is where the World Farm is. Either way, when it comes to the progenitors, they are an old race whose main goal is to run some crazy experiments. Except how would a regular guy like Orbis be able to work with them? Now, Cable is able to hack into the systems that belong to a group better known as the progenitors, and I'll explain who they are here in a brief moment. And when he does, he finds a message. Now, we have seen this message in a lot of different books from the X-Men comics, where it deals with Gabriel Summers, the third Summer brother, better known as Vulcan. When it comes to Vulcan, he returned out of nowhere in the Krakoa era, and everything seemed like he was okay, except we found out that somebody took him out of the main Marvel universe universe to run some tests and play with his mind. They realized that he was quote unquote broken. They healed his mind and sent him back into the universe to be a ticking time bomb. At first, he seems okay, but over time we found out that he's not okay. Before our heroes are able to figure out what is going on, they are attacked by a progenitor that seems to be controlled by Orbis, or being controlled by Abigail Brand. But let's not forget what was happening when it came to the Shi'ar Empire and also the Kree Skrulls Empire as well. Right now, the Kree and the Skrulls want the Shi'ar to pay for their mistakes, but of course, they are wondering how much. Before they are able to come to an agreement, you have Vulcan appear. When he does, he's showing how crazy he truly has become, talking about the idea of regaining control of the Shi'ar Empire like he did a while back in X-Men comics. Now, getting into the next chapter, we actually pick up in the past where we see the rebirth of Vulcan. Remember that when it comes to the Five, they have the ability to bring people back to life. So when it came to Vulcan, he was next on their list. Now, there are a few people who love the idea of bringing him back and some who think it is a bad idea, because in some cases, it would be great to have a powerhouse around to help protect the nation, except Vulcan was basically going crazy before he had died. So bringing him back could mean a lot of different things. As we saw in the last chapter, that apparently before he came back, there was a race of people who were playing with his mind and trying to heal a broken man, which seemed like they were able to do. But when he was brought back to life, he seemed to be mentally healed. But back then, they had no idea if he was or what was going on with him. But back in the present day, we pick up with Vulcan claiming that he is going to regain control over the Shi'ar Empire. Here's the thing. This is him thinking and knowing that he has the capability to take everyone on in this room and still win the battle like it is nothing. Except we also get reminded that he and Deathbird have a child together, but Marvel never showed us the child yet. Kind of interesting. Either way, it does lead into him fighting against the different people who are here to represent the empires from different galaxies here in this room. And he is beating everyone down. Now, while he's beating most of the people in the room, Xandra, the ruler of the Shi'ar Empire, is not fazed at all. Now, this leads into us learning why I almost call her Brandy. Abigail Brand is doing all of this for and working with all these different people. She is trying to bring peace across the universe, but she wants Earth and the rest of the Sol system to be at the center of the universe. Everything and everyone has to work and follow Earth's ways of living. It is the best way to protect the Earth in her eyes. So she is trying to start a cosmic war that could be settled by her and the force of Earth and Mars to basically say, we are the heroes of the universe. But getting back over to Cable and his team, they're still dealing with Orbis, and we kind of find out that Orbis is in control of the progenitors and also some other creatures in the world farm. Now, he is not able to actually attack Cable and his team, but he's able to control the bodies of the progenitors to help him attack people. But he does call in some other powerful beings to do his bidding, and they are able to take out Manifold just like that. Once they do that, well, it shows our heroes what they are going up against. But getting back to Vulcan, you have Vulcan getting ready to kill Xandra. If he's able to get rid of her, he will regain control of the Shi'ar Empire, except when he goes to attack her, she does not die because she's not even there. It is actually Sunspot, who has the ability to absorb solar energy, which Vulcan just gave him a huge chunk of. And so Vulcan realized all this fighting here was pointless because Xandra is not even here, except he knows where to find her and leaves to go look for her. Now, where he goes next is actually the home known as the Autumn Palace. This was the home Magneto built when he had moved over to Arakko right before he had died in the Axe Judgment event. Except when Vulcan arrives, he does not find Xandra, except he finds Storm, where it's going to lead into one final battle between Storm and Vulcan, where he had lost to her the last time, but he thinks he can win this time. And so getting into the final chapter of the storyline, we do pick up with Vulcan and Storm battle beginning. And let me tell you guys, it's one heck of a start, because the opening page, we do see one heck of an explosion. Now, here's the thing though, because when it comes to Vulcan, he should have the advantage over Storm. And the reason why, because now he's back at full power. The last time these two characters fought against each other, he was technically depowered. And what I mean by that is, because he was not mentally healed just yet, he was unable to tap into his powers completely to be able to defeat Storm. But now he can, and so he should win this battle. And so then we jump back over to Cable and his crew. Now, when it comes to Cable and his crew right now, they're freaking out because these powerful creatures that are working with Orbis was able to take out Manifold. And so our heroes realize there's not much they can do to actually win in this situation, except that is the moment you have Cable say, hey, let's not forget that I know how to control the techno-organic virus. And so you have Cable say, you know what? Give me the other samples of the virus and I'll combine it with my own to build an own armor suit for me to use against these guys. And once he's able to build this armor suit, it freaks out the powerful creatures, but also Orbis as well. Now, getting back over to Abigail Brand, this is where you have Brand realize that somebody in her group had betrayed her, because she had a perfect plan lined up to actually win every single part of her plan like it was nothing. But something went wrong, and she realized that somebody close to her had technically betrayed her to help save Xandra's life, but to also make sure there's no way Abigail will be able to start a war, a cosmic war in the universe. And that would be Mentalo. He was able to kind of set up a psychic link with Xandra as a way to take down Abigail Brand, to throw her off. And matter of fact, right when she gets ready to kill off Mentalo, well, you didn't have other people who were part of the plan appear behind her. So like Deathbird and also Sunspot. And so right now, her entire plan is falling apart very quickly. But then we jump over to Cable and his crew, who are right now fighting against Orbis and the three creatures that were able to use their powers to control Manifold's body and powers as well. Now, once they realize how powerful Cable has become, they begin to use their powers instead on him and let go of Manifold. Now, here's the thing, because at first, Manifold is unable to use his powers, but out of nowhere, somebody does talk to him and they say, hey, I'm here for you, brother, and I know you can do it. Now, we have no idea who this person could be. I have an idea, but I don't want to say anything. But either way, when it comes to Manifold, he is able to actually regain control of his powers and being able to teleport the three creatures out of this universe. And so we're left to believe that these were the three creatures who were playing with the mind of Gabriel Summers. But now they've been sent away back to their universe or somewhere else on the outside of this universe. But then you have our heroes leave to basically go ahead and bring down Abigail Brand. Now, you do have Abigail Brand be confronted by Xandra, Deathbird, Sunspot, other characters as well, to prove that her plan had basically failed. Now, when it comes to Abigail Brand, the main point of all of this was to show that she's trying her best to have galactic peace. Because when it comes to the universe right now, there is no peace really anywhere. Yes, you have the Kree and the Skrulls working together, but sooner or later, they're going to fall apart. But at the same time, she's worried about the idea of those two technically working together, because if they do, they're going to become weak to other enemies around them. And so why not try to have an entire universe working together, because then there'll be nobody after each other at all. Now, yeah, I get that, but at the same time, it's still a dumb idea, because you're talking about having a cosmic war across the universe to just prove that the universe needs peace all around, which could kill off many innocent lives. Either way, you do have Abigail Brand being able to get away, except when she does teleport over somewhere else, she is confronted by the fisherman. And he's all like, hey, you and I gotta talk real quick. And so then we jump back over to Vulcan fighting against Storm. Now, when it comes to our two characters fighting against each other, it does go on for a little while, except it does end up with Storm winning that battle. Now, the reason why she does win the battle, because Storm realized, she already knew, there was no way that she'll be able to defeat Vulcan by herself. And so she brought in help. Now, to Vulcan, that is cheating. But she never said, I'll fight you one-on-one. Instead, it's more of, I'll fight you, but I know how to prepare for you. I know how to make sure I can pull out a win. Unlike you, you were not prepared. You lost, and that is it. And so once again, Vulcan has lost the Storm, but this time in a more creative kind of way. Now, to wrap up today's video, we do jump back over to Orbis. Now, when we do, we see Orbis right now showing us that it was not just some random orb. It was also somebody inside the orb as well. And we come to find out, it is another clone of Mr. Sinister. And that is huge because remember, in the X-Men videos, we saw Dr. Stasis tell us that he's also a clone of Mr. Sinister. And now we're seeing another clone pop up. And the question is right now, where are all these clones? Where are all these clones? Had a hard time saying that. Where are all these clones coming from? That is the big question. But unfortunately, this is the end for today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.